Hello again, everyone. This is Bob Martin, the RCSubGuy with the NautilusDryDocks.com. Thanks for joining me again. Got a little project to share with you. It is a German Type 23 RC submarine, originally put out by a company called 32nd Parallel. So this one's undergone some upgrades, and that was before I got a hold of it. I did some minor renovations and refurbishment to it, added a little bit of a better paint job, and threw it in the pool. So it's been tried, tested. I'm going to share with you how that turned out, and I'm also going to share with you how this boat goes together and a little bit of details about this gas ballast system that's installed in it. So again, thanks for joining me. Let's take a look at the boat. So as you can see, it's a little wet. I just had it in the pool for its maiden voyage, and I'm happy to report it is a very excellent performing little boat. Didn't have much of a chance to get it really wound up because it was just in my pool. It's a bit of a rainy day today. I didn't want to get caught out of doors too long. But the pool test was extremely successful. I'm very happy with it. Let's take a quick look at the boat. To gain access, there's a little catch pin. You just slide it back, and the top comes right off like that. We have some removable foam, and the placement for this upper piece of foam is resting directly against this vent valve. So that comes out, and then one more right here. This just wedges in that top part. Let's see if I can do this. This is always challenging with one hand. There we go. Take a look at some of the linkages, the drivetrain in there. 3-inch watertight cylinder. It's an older model D&E Miniatures watertight cylinder, gas-based. Looks really, really well. Let's switch the camera over here. We'll pop this out, take a look at it. All right, here is the watertight cylinder, the business end of the boat. Let's why don't we start at the front here. We've got a waterproof switch, and that's the main power to the boat, on and off. You can see it's marked. There's a pressure equalization valve in here, so once you put the end caps on, in theory there's a little bit of positive pressure inside. I actually like leaving that in there because it'll of course push water out. But if you did end up with too much for whatever reason, if you just depress that little valve, it equalizes. In the forward compartment, you can see we've got a 11 or 7.4 volt, 3 amp battery pack. It's a lithium polymer battery pack. Lots of room for additional battery in here. So new owner could go with like a 7.4 volt, you know, like a 6 amp battery or a pair of 3 amp batteries, but this works fine. I'm going to say you get about 20 minutes of runtime with it in its existing configuration. Watertight cylinder. Ballast tank has the onboard pressure vessel for the liquefied air, and that looks like this. This is Badger Propel, airbrush propellant with an adapter valve. That goes on the top there, and I'll show you in a moment how to fill that up. The linkage inside basically moves back and forth. It does two things. It opens the vent valve to dive, and then it also depresses a Schrader valve in there to blow that liquid air into the ballast tank, and it pushes all the water out these big holes. Moving into the electronics compartment here, we've got some mini servos that control our bow planes, rear planes, and rudder. And we have our electronic speed controller. We have also got our receiver in there. This also has an 82 automatic pitch controller, so the boat will automatically correct for variations in pitch. Taking a look at the end here, we've got magnetic linkage connectors that simply snap onto the linkages in the boat, making it very easy to install and take out. And then the last thing I'll highlight is this hose, and this is a dual purpose. The antenna for the receiver is actually run out this hose, and then it's capped off at the end. If you pop this cap off, submerge the watertight cylinder and blow gently into the tube, you can check for leaks. So this has already been tested, and there's no leaks present. It's run dry after about 20 minutes in the pool, so it's all set up and ready to go. All right, let's talk through installation of the watertight cylinder. I'm going to do the best I can to show you what this does, but it's very simple to do. The trickiest part of the whole situation is the installation of this little nylon dog bone, which goes in the dog bone adapter in the back of the cylinder there, and then into the prop shaft in the boat. So all you're going to do, I set this dog bone in place and then move these Velcro straps apart, and then this drops in. Now the hull is actually made from plastic, styrene plastic, so it bends quite a bit. You nestle that dog bone in place in the back, and then there's a pin in the ballast tank that goes to a pin on the inside of the boat. Now that that's in, you just grab the Velcro, do that up, and everything is held in place, ready to go. All right, I promised you a quick little video on how to fill up the ballast tank there. What we're going to do is we're going to have our valve here. We're going to open up the valve, make sure everything is seated. I don't have very much left in there, but it should be enough for the purpose of this video. Transmitter on, always transmitter on first, and then the unit. Power on. The ballast controls are on the back of the boat, channel 5, so it'd be on the left-hand side. Down button dives, top button surfaces. Nice and simple. Other controls, we got rudder, left and right, bow planes, and then we've got throttle on the left-hand side. So now that we've got all that done, what we're going to do is, and I highly recommend, especially if you're just starting out, use work gloves, leather work gloves. What you're going to want to do is set this in place, press down quickly and firmly, and then hit your blow valve, so up. You can hear it filling up. Just a couple burps, and that's it. Now that the cylinder is in place, I'm just going to tuck the antenna wire down there so it runs nice and long down the hull. You get an excellent reception. The foam gets tucked in the back. The other one gets set on the top. And then you can see that the support bracket on the inside goes right in that channel. The nose of the boat gets nestled into place. And then, got some stuff on there. There we go. You got to kind of wiggle and play. You have to spread the hull a little bit so that the top fits in nicely to the bottom. Push the pin in on the back. Give it a little squeeze. And there you go. All set up. Ready for the pond. Well, there you go, guys. Another RC sub project by Bob Martin, the RC sub guy. Special thanks to Hunter for making it possible for me to get this boat. Thanks, Hunter. And if you're interested in this project, many other projects, or the RC submarine hobby as a whole, make sure you visit my website at nautilusdrydocks.com. There's tons of information, resources, hints, tips, parts, components, and kits for you to take a look at in this wonderful, amazing hobby of the RC submarine world. Again, this is Bob Martin, the RC sub guy. Thanks for joining me. We'll catch you next time.